Genuinely, this video is not about cows, but this is the best seat in the house and I don't have to worry about any of my family bothering me while I film, and I can just sit with my couch. So this is the video. Hi, hello friends. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about my weight loss journey because for those of you who don't know, I have PCOS. I was officially diagnosed in August, like the beginning-ish. I had to get probed. I had a video about that. I always kind of knew that I had feminine issues because I've never had normal periods and I've always struggled with weight. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll know I have a hormonal apron tummy. That's where I hold most of my weight, unfortunately. And so when I got that diagnosis, it honestly wasn't even like that sad. It was kind of nice to know that I finally had an answer and to know the steps to move forward. The internet is a beautiful place. I've done a little bit of research and had a little bit of insight, and so I've successfully lost about 20 pounds in those like 3 months. I don't really count full 3 months because I've had a chaotic last 3 months. Did a lot of traveling with my trailer and had a lot of business and everything, and still managing to lose weight just really solidified to me that I was never the problem. And I want that to be a big thought right now before you even get into this video. Trigger warning, we are going to talk about eating disorder, diet culture, and exercise. So if that's a sensitive subject for you, I'm not offended at all if you hop off this video. But secondly, you are not the problem by being the body that you have. Your body is not an issue. I don't care what size it is, it's not a problem. You are worthy, you are just enough by simply existing and being the person that you are. Do not let culture and society make you think that thin is the only option, that it is the only thing to make you happy. That is not the case. Never the case. You can be a happy, healthy person that is not society's deemed perfect body and completely flourish and thrive in this world. And that's the biggest reason that I wanted to make this a YouTube video and not a TikTok, because I myself have gotten caught up in the diet culture and watch videos about, you know, low calorie snacks or these workouts and this, and it gets me because it just portrays, like, it makes you think like you have to lose weight, you have to be working out in the gym, you have to be eating this certain diet, and you just don't. Like, the longer that I go in life and the older I get, which I'm not trying to act like I'm just, you know, an ancient, like, you know, old wise man that's going to tell you all the tales. I'm 26, but it has blown my mind to see that, as much as you hate to hear it, the biggest thing is diet and exercise, but a healthy lifestyle change. You have to make those conscious decisions because there's no magic pill. There's no magic shake that I'm going to sell you, nothing like that. I'm not sponsored by any of the things that I'm going to talk about today. But at the end of the day, you have to want to do it, and it needs to be a lifestyle change so that it is sustainable, because that's where I have struggled with for so long. And that's where I struggled with my specific ED, is because I would go through cycles where I would yo-yo tremendously. I've lost 30 to 40 pounds probably 4 or 5 times now because I could never sustain it, because I would get into an unhealthy lifestyle of working out a shit ton and then exercising but not knowing what's wrong with my body and eating not good for me. Like, when I was at my smallest, I was my most unhealthy. Like, I am 218, 219 right now, and I'm so freaking healthy. Like, I've actually never had the experience of doctors telling me that I'm obese or overweight, because they're like, you have good vitals. Like, I've had good doctors who haven't just blamed it on my weight. That's why, like, actually just changing my lifestyle, finding out what's actually wrong with me, and adapting has been so beneficial. So I went to the doctor, I got diagnosed with PCOS. She put me on metformin. Now, I was on metformin for a little bit. I didn't have a lot of the bad side effects. I've heard a lot of people tell me that they had really bad diarrhea, really bad stomach issues. I did have some pretty intense acid reflux for the first little bit, and that was something I had never experienced to that. Like, I literally woke up in the middle of the night one night, and I was like crying because it was coming out my nose. So fair warning there. But other than that, I had a pretty mild case, but I actually ended up getting off of that because I prefer Wegovy. It is a shot. I'm not a doctor, so please talk to a medical professional before you take anything from this, but I started on Wegovy, and it is a weight loss shot. Basically, it is for diabetics, and it has really good benefits with people specifically with PCOS because it helps with the insulin resistance, which is the type of PCOS that I have, because there are multiple types, and knowing which type you have is really beneficial. But Wegovy is a weekly shot that I get in my stomach. It doesn't hurt. It's super easy, and it helps me with that insulin resistance, and that's why the weight has been able to fall off of me without me having a lot of the back work. Now, Now I will say other things. Drinking plenty of flippin' water. You want to make sure you are a hydrated queen. You don't have to do a gallon a day. You don't have to carry around a jug. Just try to drink a little bit more than you usually would, okay? Because you got to make sure that you're staying hydrated. On top of making sure you drink a lot of water, I started making sure I was doing vitamins and minerals and making sure that I had those in my daily, life. So I added a superfoods vitamin. I added like the women's daily just to make sure that I'm getting all of those that I need. I also started adding in some drinks because I know gut health is a super big important factor with PCOS. So I haven't been as consistent, especially with the last 3 weeks with my girls and all the problems. I need to get back on that wagon, but I was doing a drink a day with the like superfoods and greens from Bloom, not sponsored, but it is the one that I use. And then also I might end up working with them in the future, but not right now. We don't have anything going on. Smoo, it is a brand. They specifically make products for people with PCOS, and I really enjoy theirs. It has a lot of the vitamins that are really, some other supplements that are really good for people who struggle with PCOS, which I think is super important, and I think that's really awesome. So I like that so far. Those are the two that I try to drink almost daily. Say, ah! So she just stretched her leg out and stabbed me in the butt cheek with her hoof because she's laying fully down. Oh, that hurt so bad, and she didn't even mean to. Oh, you got me right in the tush, sis. With exercise, I've done some reading that like cortisol levels are a really big thing when it comes to PCOS, and I've never been a gym girly. Like I've never been an avid runner. The athletics that I played in high school, I always enjoyed, but I've been a pretty active person, and that's always what never made sense and was always so hard, and what really fed my eating disorder growing up, because I was an active kid. I didn't eat anything crazy or out of the pocket. Okay. And yet I was always heavier than my friends, and it never made sense because I ate healthier than a lot of my friends. I was super active. Like I live on a cattle farm and I take care of these guys, but I just always was a little bit heavier. And so that was a struggle, but learning about PCOS, learning that it was not my body's fault. It's not your fault, and just evolving. But when I did that, I started doing the research, and walking is so slept on and so effective. So I've been doing hot girl walks, okay? Sometimes I walk with my friends, sometimes I take Bella for hikes, or a lot of times since the gator's been down, I just make sure I walk more on the farm, and it's super beneficial. It's super easy. It's a low impact. It's a nice it's good for your mental health too. I didn't know if you knew this, but my therapist told me, I think it's like at least 3 30-minute walks a week can be the same as a low dose antidepressant. So if you can, just get out and get some walkies, whether it be a hot girl walk with your friends, by yourself, whether it be around your neighborhood, as long as it's safe, with your dog. Walking is such a beneficial exercise because it's low impact, but it is a long lasting effect, and it's just good for all things. It's good for you physically, mentally, sometimes emotionally. Like, get out there and do some hot girl walks, and like I said, those were little things that I started adding into my life to make it something that is sustainable, so that I don't lose weight and then gain it back, or I keep yo-yoing, or I keep struggling with this unhealthy relationship that I had with food and with exercising and diet culture as a whole, because it's this constant battle of like, you have to be thin, you have to be perfect, you have to be ideal, like everybody needs to be this. Some people don't, okay? I'm never gonna be teeny tiny, okay? I got big hips and a big ass. Like, I'm not gonna be a freaking stick, and that's okay. But it's also okay for people who are small and have a small frame to be thin. And it's also okay for people to not be thin and be happy and confident in themselves. Like, it's just such a crazy thing. And women specifically, they deal with it a lot more, I feel like. I mean, society's garbage for any person, but it's just crazy. And that's why I wanted this to be a discussion on YouTube and not just a quick video that I could throw up on TikTok, because I don't want to continue that, behavior. My page has become a lot of cattle and educating, entertaining, but I also want to be a body positive person, because that is something that I am very passionate about, because I did not see representation. And I think back to how much that could have benefited me as a child. I, for so long, thought my body was wrong, thought my body was acceptable, and I was not worthy of love or relationships or anything, because I did not see people with my body. I saw plus size women, and I saw those, but nobody with an apron tummy, no one with stomachs like mine, nobody with little boobs and a big apron tummy and a big butt. Like, I never saw that. And so I like representing that. And I see a lot of people are like, I wish you had your confidence. Tell yourself you're hot. Seriously, start waking up in the morning, start your everyday with, I'm freaking hot, okay? Because look at all these other things that I bring to the table, minus just the carcass that I'm in. That means so much more than just the carcass that you're in. Your sex appeal is not what you are as a person. How hot you are in society standards is not what you are as a person. You are so much more than any of that could ever imagine to be. So confidence is it's a work scale, because honestly 2 years ago I would never have dreamed of putting my body online as much as I do now. And it's not because I've lost a little weight, because I've fluctuated since then. I lost like 20 pounds last winter and I never even talked about it because I gained some of it back. And it's just a crazy freaking thing. But that's the biggest thing. I know it's annoying because everybody wants there to be a really quick, fix, but unfortunately you've just got to worry about your nutrition. You got to make sure that you're feeding yourself good, but do not stop yourself from enjoying life. Okay, it's a balance. You're allowed to eat the things in moderation. You do not have to go full keto. You do not have to go full this. You are allowed to have donuts and pizza and cake and ice cream and all of that, as well as having fruits and vegetables and the hearty good things for you. Make sure you're getting enough of your nutrients, maybe add in some supplements, some vitamins, stuff like that. Maybe talk to your doctor. I know that on top of Wegovy, there's also Manjaro and a couple other of those similar weight loss drugs, because they've seen that effect with diabetic patients specifically, but especially if you have PCOS and the insulin resistance type, those could maybe benefit you. But of course, talk to your doctor. I am not a medical professional. I am just a lady on the journey too. And just find that community. There's a couple different creators specifically for PCOS on the internet, and they talk a lot more about it. They do a lot more research behind it. I am somebody who am still very new to it. I've only been, clinically diagnosed for a few months now, so I'm not going to sit here and act like an expert. It is whatever you want to do and what you end up doing on your journey. And if your journey does not involve weight loss, don't worry about it. Because for me, I have no ideal body number. There's no number in my head of what is going to be my goal weight. I have no goal pant size. I have no goal physique. I know that I feel a hell of a lot better. I have more energy. I know my periods have regulated a little bit better since doing all this, and that makes me happy. And so that's all I care about. That's it for me. Like it's cool. I definitely can see the weight loss, and that's great. It does bring a little bit more confidence, but for me, I really had to love my body at what it was to be able to continue to love it as it changes, and to be able to make those changes to have lifelong effects. And I don't know, I can still fall off the wagon. I can still fluctuate, and that's okay too, So if you guys have any other questions, we can for sure talk about it. I hope that this wasn't disappointing, because I know that a lot of people are hoping that there's some kind of magic to it. But at the end of the day, you just have to do it for you. You have to accept and love who you are. And you have to make those lifestyle changes in order to sustain a healthier lifestyle, because that's all we really should shoot to be, is just healthier people. And that healthy can be at all kinds of different sizes. And that's what people don't like to admit. I'm healthier than some people who might be half my size, and that's okay. But I'm the one who gets fat shamed or talked about as my health. And that's what we have to stop doing as a society. Stop giving a shit about other people's bodies. Don't tell people what they can and cannot do with them, and don't tell people that their bodies are wrong, because your body is never wrong. You are not wrong by existing in the carcass that you're in. You're beautiful. You are enough. I swear to God. Okay? So take that if that's the only thing you take from this video. But I will talk to you guys in the next video. You can check out my links. You can join my Patreon. I talk about my journey a little bit more there. You can also check out my website, heiferpleaseco.com. But other than that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.